It's time to awaken your inner goddess and co-create magic with the universe. Hello everyone, and welcome to your astrological update for the new moon in Sagittarius, which is happening on December the 7th at 2:20 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're in Pacific time, it'll be late night on December the 6th. And this is the last lunar cycle of 2018, and it is one of the most exciting new moons that I've seen in a long time. When I look at this chart, it is just filled with positivity and this energy of a new, expansive, beautiful beginning. So I'm excited to share this with you. Hi, Gail. How are you? Bonnie, Petya. Hello, Kate and Teresa. So share this out. Let's get this information out there. I know we are all in need of some really good news as we enter into 2019, because collectively, I mean, there's been a lot of beautiful things to celebrate throughout the year, and there always is if we choose to look for it and see it. And that is one of the messages of the Sagittarius energy, which we're going to take a look at. And I also know that throughout this year with the Scorpio influence, there's been healing work, there's been shadow work, there's been a lot of really like digging deep and looking at some of the old patterns. And what's interesting about this new moon is it is a new moon, and it is signaling new adventures, new beginnings. It's a time to set intentions, but because it is the last lunar cycle of the year, it's bringing a lot of patterns to a close as well. So let's see who's here. Wanda and Jacqueline, Sarah, hello, Tia, welcome. So feel free to share with me as well, what are your intentions for the new moon? I do this every time I do a new moon and full moon videos, because it's really powerful to put that out there, to state what we are calling into our experience, what we want to create, when we want to manifest. When we write something down, and especially when we share it with the world, it gains power and it gains momentum, and it helps us to fully own it. It's like the next step from having this intention or this excitement in our mind for what we want to create to then sharing it and like owning it on a whole new level. So of course I will lovingly hold that space for you if you want to share some of your intentions with this energy. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's see what's going on. And the first thing I want to say, since today is the 5th, I believe, so we're a couple days out from the new moon energy. And the energy of today, we are in the dark moon phase, or also known as the balsamic phase. It's actually a very different energy than what we are stepping into for the new moon and when the moon shifts into Sagittarius. So today, the energy, the vibe that I'm getting from it, and when I look at the chart, when I look at the cosmos, is it's kind of a reflective day of looking over what our year has been like, how we've grown, how we've expanded this past year. And anytime the moon is in a dark moon phase, it can bring like our physical energy a little bit lower, like we're just kind of feeling like going inward a little more, but our intuitive abilities are really high. So pay attention to any channel messages that you feel you're receiving today, any intuitive hits that you feel you're receiving today, because the dark moon can really bring out like our intuitive psychic abilities, and that's enhanced when it's in the sign of Scorpio, one of the most intuitive signs of the zodiac. So that's happening today as we are leading up to this new moon energy. And when it shifts into the sign of Sagittarius, we'll feel the difference. Anytime we go from like the Scorpio energy, which is all about diving deep, it's like the detective of the zodiac, and we then step into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the visionary. It's about moving forward. It's about what is to come. So at the time of the new moon, we have the sun, the moon together in Sagittarius. We also have Jupiter, the ruler of this new moon, in Sagittarius. And this is a very optimistic energy. This is the energy of infinite possibilities that we are channeling and we are calling in right now. Out of any sign of the zodiac, Sagittarius is like the optimist, the most optimistic sign. And I do want to say as well, it doesn't mean that You may know somebody who's a Sagittarius and say that's not true of them. But when we're looking at these energies, it's in like the purest form of that expression. And each of us is a unique blend of all the signs of the zodiac in our own unique way, which determines our unique soul blueprint. But when we're just looking at like the purest expression of Sagittarius energy, it is optimistic, it is joyful, it is very like spiritual oriented. It's about seeking out higher consciousness, seeking out higher truth, transcending the limitations of the fear mind and looking at what is possible. And that's why I titled this video like Stepping into Infinite Possibilities. Sagittarius embodies that. And we are embodying that right now. Like, we are stepping into that space. And what that means is realizing that wherever you are today, you can get to wherever you want to go. Sagittarius has like this magical quality to it. It's represented by the centaur. So it's half horse and half man. So it's this magical quality of being able to look into the future, lock in the vision for what you want to achieve. It's also, right, it has that bow and arrow. So it shoots the arrow into the distance, into the future, and confidently gallops off in that direction. So we're also feeling like this infusion of confidence and this sense of empowerment right now. So let me know if this is resonating. And if you just jumped in now, share with me, what are you manifesting in this new moon energy? What are your intentions? Hello, Jean-Pierre, welcome. The Wanderlust energy, yeah, it is. It is the Wanderlust energy. We have Monica here as well. Tia saying, my moon is in Sagittarius. Oh, how cool is that? So that's really neat. If you know where 15 degrees of Sagittarius falls in your chart, you can also get a deeper understanding or idea of how this new moon is personally affecting you. So the first thing you want to look at is the house that it's in, and then looking at any other planets that you have in that area, because that's going to change the expression. But really, like, the first thing to look at is just where does 15 degrees of Sagittarius fall in my chart, even what house Sagittarius is in your chart, because Jupiter is traveling through that house throughout the new year as well. So wherever that is going to be an area of your life where you feel like you're ready for a new adventure. You're ready for a new beginning. And I know collectively, like, we're feeling that. Like, I can really tap into and connect to that energy of we're ready for this next step, because after doing the shadow work, the reflection, the healing, it's now time to step up and go into that new adventure, right? Go into that next phase. And the beauty of Sagittarius and the lesson we can all learn from this and the energy we can like pull in from Sagittarius is it's optimistic, and it's not responding to like what is happening currently in its environment. Its fiery energy of excitement and passion comes from within, and it comes from believing in yourself, right? Like, we can all tap into this energy. We can choose to be optimistic regardless of what is happening around us. And it is that optimism, that belief in yourself, and that belief of what is possible for you that begins to like pave the way and open the doors up to infinite possibilities in your life, right? You first have to believe that it's possible, and that energy is strong at the new moon. Karundi is, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, I apologize. Some of the names on here, I'm like, oh no, I hate saying people's name wrong. A double Sagittarius with a moon in Cancer. Oh, that's a beautiful combination. I love that. Okay, so I've got my chart pulled up on the side here as well, so I can take a look and really like make sure that I'm feeling into this energy and giving you all the details you need to really work with this. So, okay, so another big thing we're seeing with this new moon energy is Mars and Neptune are conjunct. This is interesting in and of itself, having these energies together, because Mars is the planet that drives our actions. It's the planet that motivates us. And in Pisces right now, we are motivated as we connect to our intuitive gifts, our intuitive abilities, as we recognize that, yes, I'm like a physical being here in my physical body, but first and foremost, I'm a spiritual being. So Mars in Pisces is very much driven to be of service and driven by love. And then conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, it combined with like a new moon in Sagittarius, it really is this like transcendence quality. transcendence of like the old self, the old patterns that aren't working anymore. And I think after this year, we're all like very aware of what those are. Like we've become, our eyes have been opened to like where we want to go in our life, right? Or some of the changes and some of the healing. And now this conjunction with Mars and Neptune is that motivation to transcend that and to fully trust our intuition, to fully trust our vision. So that's like a very powerful energy in and of itself to see that come together. And then it's squaring the new moon in Sagittarius. So this really is like a very spiritual energy. And it is encouraging us all to like seek out higher truth, to be the seeker of higher consciousness. And you know, throughout this month, I've been saying, if you followed my videos or my posts, how it really is about like trusting our intuition right now, because where Mercury was retrograding, we didn't really have all the details. So it was like a new way of attaining information and realizing that even though sometimes things don't logically make sense, or I don't have all the details in place right now, I can trust myself and there's other ways of receiving information. But what's really cool is at the time of the new moon, we also have Mercury going direct. So the details of what you desire to create and what you were intuitively feeling into are going to begin to unfold. So how exciting is that? Like you're going to start to see how these pieces are unfolding. And what I would encourage you to do, I've had, you know, a couple of the clients that I'm working at reaching out and saying like, is this a good time to launch things, to begin something new? I think this is a beautiful energy for bringing new things into the year, and that it's important to remember that, because you know, there's never a high vibe reason to not follow our dreams in this moment, to not pursue our soul aligned goals, right? There is never a high vibe reason not to do that. And sometimes we can fall into the trap of thinking, because it's the end of the year, you know, I'll just wait till next year, or because Mercury was retrograding or Venus was retrograding. Like if we want to find an excuse, we will always do that, right? But if something's truly aligned and we're feeling like that expansiveness behind it, it's a beautiful time to take action. And now with Mercury direct, this most positive new moon of the year, it is a beautiful time to get like your projects, the things that you wanted to move forward on, to begin to put those in motion now and just really pave the way and have like that smooth sailing into the new year. So I'm going to read some of these questions here. Gail, I'm a Pisces. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, you know, Pisces energy is like, it's such a beautiful energy. Like I love Pisces energy. And it's also one of the things that can be like the energies that are hard to kind of grasp and understand, because it is such a like transcendence quality to it. It's so lovely. And sometimes in, the shadow form, right? And that's kind of the shadow side of what we see with like Mars and Neptune coming together. It can feel like we're in this place of the illusion, like it's foggy and we don't have all the details on how to move forward, or we're feeling a little bit more tired. That's some of the shadow side. But it can also be transformed. Like if we're willing to work with the energy of Pisces, it isn't just about surrendering. It's about allowing ourselves to express ourselves creatively, to be guided by our intuition. And that's one of the beautiful things about like working with astrology and getting to like feel into the energy behind the signs and the different planets is we work with it instead of against it, because each of them can be expressed in like their lower octave where some of the challenges come up, or their highest form of expression. And we're here to experience it all. So it's not about like labeling right or wrong on that journey either. Jennifer, never have I ever felt so emotional. Yeah. And you know what, Jennifer, like I feel it is really going to shift when we go into the new moon energy. Like when the moon shifts into Sagittarius, it's like this excitement, this fiery energy, and we really start to like notice the shift from Scorpio, because right now, like I think it is an emotional time for many people as I'm filming this video. Hello, Sharon, welcome. And Tara, so I am aligning with my highest expression and allowing the shift of awareness to take place, planning my practice, stepping into my power so I can truly begin my work of spreading the medicine of healing, truth, and remembrance. Ah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. That is so lovely said. Sarah, spiritual adventure. Yeah, that's a good way to see it. Sagittarius is kind of like that spiritual adventure. It is. It's like this new spiritual adventure, and it's really pulling in like the confidence too. Sagittarius, very confident energy, and again, it comes from within. And I think it's just such an important reminder for us all that like this sense of confidence, this sense of empowerment, optimism, believing in ourselves, like going after our big vision and dreams, that is a choice we make, and that comes from within. And there's certainly different cosmic energies that can be more supportive of that than others. So the energy around the new moon is definitely supportive of like pulling that in, harnessing that, and moving forward in the direction that you're being called at this time. Okay, so let me take a look at the chart and see what else is happening. If you're just joining now, say hi. Feel free to share this out. You can also share with me, what are you manifesting? What are your intentions for this new moon? And I'll hold that energetic space for you. Okay, so let's see here. So Jupiter is the ruler of this new moon. So I want to take a little bit of a look at that. So Jupiter is also squaring Neptune. So we're seeing some of this Neptune influence really coming into play as well. And this is going to be an aspect that's on and off throughout the year. And I think this really is going to be about learning to trust our intuition and like stepping in to that higher octave of where we may not know all the details, but we're going to trust anyway. And the other side of it, that can be seen as kind of like the downfall. Like if you're somebody who feels like you need to know how it's all going to play out, you need to have all the details, you need to have a plan in place to feel safe and secure, the energy can feel a little off because that square with Jupiter and Neptune isn't necessarily giving that. What it's teaching us is to surrender. What it's teaching us is to trust. And there's so much to be said for that. It's not like blindly trusting. It's trusting in your intuition. It's trusting that if you are really connected to your heart, to your soul, to your higher self, that you will be divinely guided, even if it appears you don't know all the details of how it's going to play out. And when we can trust from that level, things will unfold beautifully, right? So it's very different than just kind of ignoring our intuition or ignoring the signs and say, I'm just going to move forward with that anyway. That would be like the lower octave expression of this energy. This is trust that comes from a place of believing in yourself and being in alignment. Kristen, what if you are a Scorpio? How would this affect you? It's very cool. So you can look at how like it affects the different sun signs, and I won't go through all of that today because I know we always want to know, but honestly, to get like the most accurate portrayal of how it's affecting you, it's knowing your birth chart rather than just looking at the sun sign or your zodiac sign. So what I would suggest, Kristen, if you know your chart, you can also pull up like birth chart calculators online. Check and see what house Sagittarius is in. Check and see where 15 degrees of Sagittarius falls in your chart. And then that will give you an idea of where the new moon is happening and will be even more accurate than just doing like knowing the sun sign. That would be my main suggestion. And I'm also opening up and doing readings and a cosmic journey. So if you're confused by those birth charts, I can help you dissect all of that and how to work with that, how to harness that, what this uniquely means to you, and even go over what your astrology is for 2019. So some of the main themes, power days, challenging aspects, all that stuff. So feel free to reach out if that's resonating with you, and I can definitely go over that in detail for sure. All right, just looking through comments here. So definitely say hi if you're just jumping in now. Welcome. And welcome to this beautiful new moon energy, the most exciting new moon of the year, closing up the cycles and themes that have been happening throughout this year. So another thing that's really kind of suggesting it's not only a time of like new beginnings and new things like opening up, but also a closing and releasing of the old patterns. And of course they go together, because anytime it's a new beginning, right? It's something new adventure that we're going on. It also means that something in our life we have to release, or something in our life is coming to a close. And in terms of looking at what's happening in the cosmos, we had Uranus squaring the nodes off and on for quite a while, and that's still kind of in effect as well. Just looking at the chart, it's still in effect around the new moon energies too. And when we're looking at the nodal axes in a chart, this is our karma. This is our life purpose. So a lot of what has been happening this year has been like karmic relationships. It's been karmic experiences. And I think a lot of people have felt that. It's like, oh, wow, like my soul has grown from this experience, or this connection that I made with somebody feels like it goes so deep. It's like the soul level connection. And it's like we're wrapping up some of that and going on to like a new phase and a new cycle in our life. So I would really use this new moon energy to take a look at if there's any like habits in your life, any patterns that you are still kind of falling into, or that you're doing in your day-to-day life, that you know it's time to release, and that you know it's time to let go of, so you can be an open channel for the adventures that are coming through, for your goals, for this next level you that you want to step into. Part of that has to be a releasing of the old. So I would not only use the new moon energy as a way to like set those intentions, but also as a releasing and letting go of like those old patterns. So you can be fully open to that new beginning as well. Hi, Donna, how are you? Oh, you're welcome, Kristen, you're welcome. But what I will say, just knowing like as a Scorpio from that information alone, you're probably feeling the energies today pretty strong, because as I'm like recording this leading up to the new moon energies, we do have the moon in Scorpio. So it is like an emotional time, but super like intuitive. So trust those intuitive hits that you're getting today. And if you're feeling like overwhelmed and emotional, no, it will shift as we move into the new moon energy, and it probably is just a releasing of a lot of like the old energy as well. Jennifer, I am on day 101 with no tobacco that no longer serve me. Oh, that's awesome, Jennifer. Love that. Yes. Yeah. As we let go, we create space for the new. And you know what happens, I think, with like habits, any habits in our life, whether it's like a way of thinking that becomes a habit, whether it's an action that becomes a habit, we have to like shift out of autopilot and become consciously aware in order to change that, because it's a lot of things just really aren't serving us anymore, and it's just in place because it's an old habit. It's what we've done in the past, so we carry it with us into the present, but it's giving ourselves permission. And just like in the title, in this moment, there are infinite possibilities. You get to choose the frequency you are tapping into. You get to choose optimism. You get to choose adventure. You get to choose to really believe in yourself. So super powerful. Okay, so I think that's a lot of like the main things happening around the new moon. If you want to go deeper with this, and more importantly than maybe just the astrology, because we covered a lot, I have created a meditation and a clearing and activation to work with these new moon energies. So if you want access to that, send me a message right here on Facebook and I can send you the link. Part of that does go into the astrology as well, but the most powerful component of that really is like the tapping. There's 20 minutes of just tapping and clearing away old energies and really like activating your goddess energy, empowerment from within, and then a beautiful meditation to raise your vibe. So if you are interested in the details on that, send me a message and I'd be happy to pass that along. And thank you everyone for joining today, for your beautiful energy. Enjoy this amazing new moon. Set those intentions, do the releasing, do the opening up to what is to come. Believe in yourself, be ready for this next adventure, and affirm in this moment infinite possibilities. So sending love and light to you all, and I'll see you soon again. Bye.